So, I have tried to film this video for a very long time, over the course of multiple days, and every single time some little or large thing has gone awry and stopped the video from being successfully recorded, and I'm so frustrated. And this is the last time I'm gonna try today because I already had to delete 2 versions of this video because of various things going wrong. When I started trying to record this, it was sunny outside, and now the sun is setting. So, and also when I started trying to record this, my hair was wet, and now it's almost dry. So, here we go again. I don't know what's been going on recently, but I haven't uploaded for a while, and I've been okay. I don't really update Instagram as much as I like, and as much as I'd like to, but honestly, not that much like Instagrammable things. Not that many Instagrammable things go on in my life, so I'm like, I don't have anything to report. I mean, I baked a bread that had a big pentagram scored onto it recently, but I didn't want to put that on Instagram. But so I've discovered recently that I can make a decent loaf of bread, and by decent I mean that my family eats it and my boyfriend will also eat it. And there's always the possibility that they're just being nice to me and not telling me if my bread is bad, which I really wish that nobody would do this. And I frequently encourage my siblings to give honest feedback on the stuff that I bake, because at the end of the day, I just want it to taste good. But I worry that sometimes they're being like overly flattering to me just to make me happy. So, all right, that aside, where have I been? I mean, if you've watched my channel for a couple of years, which my god, that's a long time, but I consistently upload a video on my birthday every year, usually of me drinking a Diet Coke and having a crisis about the passage of time and feeling like I've wasted time. And I didn't do that this year, not because I wasn't doing the exact same thing, drinking a Diet Coke and thinking about the passage of time, but I really wanted to consciously not like acknowledge it in such a real way as making a video about it and talking about it, because the futility of it kind of struck me. And I really want to think less about it in general. I still thought about it because that's just how these things go, but I think that I'm okay. I think I'm okay. I think I'm doing all right. But something I did want to acknowledge though is in the beginning of the year, I kind of set a resolution, and the resolution was to do things that I might enjoy or that might make me happy, regardless of whether or not I deserve them, or if I've like achieved some kind of milestone that would mean that I deserve some kind of reward like that. And I haven't been making good on that at all. And it's more than 4 months into the year, so I think that this might actually be a good time to revisit that. And I'm happy to report that I have recently taken action towards this. And I don't want to say anything about it yet because I'm pretty sure it's also going to inspire some like stupid eating disorder stuff to follow it anyways. But for now, let's just say that I'm doing my best on that front as well. It seems kind of like a selfish goal, like because it's not really like a standard thing that people set as a goal or a resolution, like improve yourself or achieve this thing. I don't know. Anyways, I'm just gonna brush that thought aside. Okay, would it be rude if I sat with like my knees here? I am wearing shorts. It's not that I'm not wearing pants, but would that be rude? I don't want to be rude, but that would be a lot more comfortable right now, and there is no one around. and it is nice and quiet, so it's not like. All right, cool. Now that we're comfortable. Oh, something really strange. I'm currently only 1 day clean from binging and purging. I mean, at the conclusion of today, that'll be 2, but every time I stop binging and purging, my lips become extremely chapped. And I feel like that's not normal because chapped lips are more a side effect of bulimia than a side effect of not binging and purging. But I mean, my number one theory is that the stomach acid is just exfoliating my lips all the time so they're nice and smooth. Beauty tip. But I don't know. Every time I stop binging and purging, my lips become disgustingly chapped and very painful and tend to bleed, and there's not a single lip balm I've tried that will fix it. So, if anyone knows what's up with that, please let me know because it's really uncomfortable. Uh, oh, something else, but not an update and not something that's new at all. But I continue to lose a lot of hair, and it might be because my hair is quite long now compared to, like, you know, uh, I don't want to cut it because I think that the long hair looks nice. But it's also giving me grief, so who knows, honestly. I don't think that people really take, at least in my personal life, people don't necessarily take me seriously when I say that I'm really stressed about my hair falling out because I just have hair that naturally falls in a way that makes it look a lot better and healthier than it actually is. But as a matter of fact, I can see way too much scalp and I'm not happy about it. Something that's kind of funny. Well, that's kind of terrible to say. No, it's not funny. Something interesting is that my mother, who has for her entire life has extremely thick and healthy and nice hair, for the first time now she's experiencing hair loss for hormone and like age related reasons, and I can see her going through all of all of the things like being afraid to brush your hair because you can see the hair coming out on the brush, or obsessively vacuuming hair off of the bathroom floor so you don't have to see it, and getting really into researching every single way that you might possibly be able to stop your hair loss. And because I'm a terrible person, part of me wants to go like, hey, remember when you told me I was overreacting when I was doing all of these things? But I'm not going to say that. Unfortunately, I think about it sometimes. I'm kind of past all that sometimes because often I feel like I just deserve this because I'm being punished for my crimes, and I understand now, like I would do anything to stop my hair from falling out, except eat better and stop throwing up. On that note, though, I have been eating a lot better than I have been for the past 2 years, which isn't very encouraging considering that I don't eat that well right now. Something I have done is I've stopped abusing laxatives, and yeah, I've probably talked about this in other videos, but if you're okay, I'll just give a bit of a summary, I guess. But I would say that I was addicted to laxatives for about 2 years straight, and after that, I was more just abusing them kind of regularly, which doesn't seem like there's a it doesn't seem like there's a I'm sorry, I just cracked my shoulder. It hurts. It doesn't seem like there's a discernible difference between I was just using them very regularly and I was addicted to them. But there was there was a distinction there. Okay, I actually didn't go into this planning to talk about laxative abuse, and also in my everyday life and in my head, I never really am called upon to whatever. I don't think about my issues that way, or like I've never thought about my laxative abuse issues that way because I'm more focused on just like solving the problem, and I'm not necessarily like poring over how bad stuff was. And uh, yeah, you get the point. This is weird, and I didn't come in with like a good plan on how I was going to address this, but pretty much at the end of last year, I started to taper off, and tapering eventually led to me stopping and replacing it with strategically timed doses of non stimulant laxatives. And I'm not a medical professional, I'm actually very stupid and often don't understand anything about science. But yeah, and then I'm going to say some like medical opinion. I know what I'm doing. But I think that quitting laxatives cold turkey when you're like basically dependent on them is such a bad idea. I would go as far to I would go as far as to say that it would probably be really dangerous for some individuals, and I'm not going to go into why those reasons are because I'm just not educated enough to like be able to do those reasons any kind of justice. I would have to actually prepare and take notes and then make a video about what I think. Even then I wouldn't be confident enough, but if I just address this from like an addiction or like eating disorder perspective purely, kind of like a yeah, like the only thing I am qualified to talk about my personal experiences from a quitting standpoint, quitting cold turkey never worked for me in this aspect because every time I quit cold turkey, I would have like terrible physical consequences, and it would just lead to me relapsing with a vigor because I just couldn't deal with the physical consequences anymore, which is why eventually I like oh, okay, so I should make it clear that I didn't start tapering my laxative use because I was just like because it was just fading out as a habit. No, I was consciously doing it. Like I knew when the last time I used laxatives was and when the next time would be. Like I was taking notes. I was recording all of this on and off in a journal or like in my notes app. Well, there was no super formal thing, but I always knew the way that eating disorder people always know, like like that running tracker of all of the foods you've eaten in a day in your head, even though you're not like putting them down in an app or something. Anyways, it was a very practical and very monitored by me, by me and me alone effort. And to be honest, it was extremely difficult. And when I stopped, it was still extremely difficult. Like when I stopped laxatives altogether and I was just basically supplementing with non-stimulant laxatives, and now I don't use non-stimulant laxatives at all unless it's like just very rarely because eventually I started to taper those off as well. And even now it's a bad time sometimes, but it started to become actually bearable. And you know what? I'm actually really proud of myself because while I was never like those people on the eating disorder documentaries who are taking 50 or hundreds of laxatives at a time, I was never that bad, but I was, I still had a problem. Actually, mm, yeah, like I said before, I didn't come in here prepared to like explain the details of my laxative use and to like impress you with how bad it was. And sometimes when I think about the people who are taking like hundreds of laxatives a day, I'm like, did I really have a problem? But then I realized that I was basically like I was basically seriously dehydrated and in a lot of pain for like weeks on end because of laxative use, and that's a problem. So, I don't know. I mean, yeah. Uh, I would also like to extend my sincere appreciation to one of my friends who may or may not be watching this video. Maybe, I don't know. But if you're watching this, you will know who you are. I would like to thank you for constantly mentioning colostomy bags every time I mention taking laxatives. I never told you this, but it genuinely scared me to my core, and we know that I have horrifyingly little respect for the physical consequences and health consequences of bulimia, so I don't know why this was so effective, but it was because it truly put the fear of the Lord into me, and I believe that this was a huge factor in me deciding to quit laxatives altogether. So, thank you. Seriously, you helped me more than you know, and I need to like seriously thank you directly. But listen, I never thought that a scare tactic would work on me, and my friend, I believe, was not even trying to deliberately like mobilize scare tactics on my ass. But somehow the scare tactic really, really was effective. And you know what? I don't use laxatives anymore. So that's good. That's progress. All right, now I'm gonna sit like a frog because it's more comfortable. And if I don't do this periodically, my hip joint starts to really hurt. That seems like a little bit too much information. All right, since it's getting a little bit dark, I'm thinking this is the perfect time to wrap up the video and to also give a promise that I'm going to try and upload again very soon. And I would like to again reaffirm that I'm going to try really hard to work on my New Year's resolution, because if you remember my whole becoming a real person project thing, this is really kind of a part of that, so I feel like any progress there is going to be good. Yeah, I picked the perfect time to end this video because a rat has started to eat pasta, and several times I tried to film a video, but for the entire duration of me trying to film a video, multiple rats started to eat pasta and it got really loud. And it, like, I listened to it back because I thought I could just eventually start talking over it. It was impossible to do. And I love the rats and I would never deny them their pasta, but boy, does it get really loud. So I'm gonna go quick now. And I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. You know, if it's the end of the semester for you, or if the semester is already ended for you, I hope you guys are getting rest and not like finding other ways to fill your time that are probably bad for your health. But yeah, see, I need to go now before I become completely incoherent. All right. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. Stay safe out there in the warm weather. Bye.